What's going on, everybody? Hey, I'm here to bring to you a video on ChatGPT AI. And look, I'm not the one, first and foremost, to be an expert on the subject, but I have definitely dabbled with it. I mean, I've used music platforms with it. I've used Midjourney. Heck, I'm registered there. I've been there since, I don't know, December, November-ish time frame. So I've been with this product for a while. The only thing I haven't done is gone into all these forums and GitHub and all these different things to really just get more, I guess you would say, more adept to what it does. But I've definitely been on the subject. But in this video, it seems like every YouTube video is getting all this attention when they put AI and making money or doing all this kind of stuff. And all it is attention grabbing, but it's boosting up channels. So why not piggyback off of it? I'm going to do reaction videos because I do know a little bit about the subject and I got a little bit of an opinion. So we'll see what the heck I come up with watching this. And if you enjoy it, great. Hit the thumbs up, subscribe to the channel. I'm trying to get 4,000 hours of watch time. Do you know how ridiculously hard that is? I mean, guys, watch this to the end if you don't mind. And if you don't want to listen to all of it, just mute it and then just let the video play. I mean, that would be helpful. But I'm not going to be talking during most of it. So let's just watch this video. Thanks.
Let's talk about that. I mean, this seems like everyone in this room is, you've heard of this ChatGPT, and I know this is stuff that interests you, and you're probably the sort of guy who's been on top of this stuff for years, and it just kind of bubbles up for a lot of people like us. It seems like I haven't seen a technology that's kind of captivated the public, in a while.
Yeah.
Talk to us a little about these large language models. I mean, you just talked a little bit about how transformative AI is going to be in all these different industries. What about it from an investment standpoint? Because you and I were just chatting about this. I saw a headline, a company I've never heard of them. Two guys leave Google, Chapter.ai, and they're looking to raise $250 million at a $1 billion valuation, maybe. What have we learned here? Because that seems like a big round for something that is probably a handful of engineers kind of banging away at a.
Yeah, like, are we really ready to go ahead and evaluate this as a $1 billion product right now?
Chatbot right now.
When I was at Facebook, my team and I were probably the first folks that really commercialized machine learning in the wild. When our first versions of Newsfeed and some other technologies that you guys probably interact with every day, essentially was about using machines to guess and to guess better and better over time. So that's basically what this is, just on steroids. And what ChatGPT shows you is just the amazing value in allowing computers to assist you in doing work. It's like a calculator replacing the abacus, replacing a pen and paper.
I've heard this statement before.
What's important, though, is this Buffett quote.
It is like a calculator.
A friend of mine told me this yesterday, which I loved. He told this story about refrigeration, and the story he tells is that the people and the person that invented refrigeration made some money, but most of the money was made by Coca-Cola, who used refrigeration to build an empire. And I view these large language models as refrigeration. Will there be some money made in it? I think so. But the Coca-Cola has yet to be built. And those are the companies that are really going to monetize it. And in order to monetize it well, here's a basic thing about machine learning that's worth knowing, which is if you take 1,000 of the same inputs and give it to Facebook and Microsoft and Google and Amazon, they'll all come up with the same machine learning model. But if you have one extra thing, one little ingredient that all of those other companies don't have, your output can be markedly different. It's like giving two great chefs 3 ingredients, but you give the third chef 1 extra one. That person has the ability to do something very special. So right now, we are in the world where everybody is crawling the open web. We're going to move to a world where as everybody gets sophisticated enough, where when refrigeration is widely available, somebody's going to say, you know what, this site, I'm not going to allow anybody else to access. It's only me. Only for my models. And those models will become better. And so we have to let that play out a little bit. And so it's going to be a little bit of a really interesting arms race. So the next wave of M&A, for example, could be companies like Google and Microsoft and Facebook looking at these companies saying, can they be viable inputs to my large language models or to my other machine learning and AI models. So you could see M&A activity that drives that differentiation before anything else. So so then as a result, for guys like us, early stage investors, we may want to invest in companies that have zero viable public market potential whatsoever, but is building a data repository that's so unique that we know that it will feed one of these bigger companies and their efforts in AI.
Oh my God. Okay, so I see what the guy's saying here. We're talking about investing in one of these little small companies that's going to be so amazing in their strategy, development, technology, whatever, that it will be an attractive product to all the big companies. Look, here's my thing. And guys, please, if you're liking this right now, like and subscribe. I'm trying to build this out. I got to get to 4,000 watch hours. Do you know how freaking hard that is? I mean, like, it is extremely hard. I got a dog barking in the background. I don't even care. I got to get to 4,000 if I'm going to monetize this channel. But I have big goals, big dreams. And I mean, if you want to know some of my philosophy right now, I'm a disruptor. I like to disrupt things. If it's not conducive for the rest of everyone else that's trying to live on this planet, make a living, just trying to survive, I'm usually not in favor for it. And what this individual here, what he's proposing in this nice little event that he's at, is we need to figure out, we need to support the one company that is going to support the institutions that like to keep us suppressed. I mean, I'm just being honest. People might think that this is a freeing society we're living in, but if you haven't noticed by now, most of these big companies, they get bigger and bigger, and the people that work for them help keep them up. It's not a turnaround where the big company got big, now it turns around and then it uplifts all the little guys. No. It's usually a suppression situation. So unless there's some kind of incentive or benefit that comes back from this type of activity, I don't really think it should be in the hands of people that already have a massive amount of power. I think we need to square this away. I mean, I'm already happy about this open AI stuff. I like that it's open source. This is changing the game. That's what we really need. We need something that's not going to be in the hands of a bunch of power mongers that he's suggesting would probably be pretty cool. I don't know if I feel that. I mean, maybe y'all feel something different. There's a lot of people that like this competition energy. I'm not in it. I like cooperation energy. I'm trying to get better at it every day to be less selfish. It's not always easy, but I'm being honest. And I just don't vibe with it.
And that could very well justify making an investment that we would otherwise not make today, knowing what we know.
And on that front, I mean, so regulatory really quickly, because we only have a couple minutes here. I mean, 10 years ago, Facebook would just buy the next thing, right? They'd pay $1 billion. The fact that Microsoft paid $1 billion investment in OpenAI, in a different regulatory environment, they might have just bought it. They couldn't buy OpenAI. But does this also excite you about early stage tech investing in this environment? Does the regulatory environment actually help your cause to let some of these companies bubble up a bit further than they might if they were just kind of taken over by the incumbents?
Yeah, I mean, I think the incumbents are going to have to veer into adjacent M&A that it's non-obvious, that will pass regulatory muster. And then separately, it'll allow people who build the Coca-Colas of the world, who use refrigeration properly, to actually emerge with a lot.
I love how he's talking with his hands. I mean, this is all gesturing that,
and upselling that the big tech companies use
positions
to basically eliminate a lot of competition.
Can't stand it.
Will be very difficult.
I mean,
classic example. Look at the
people use
of
these
Reels
hand gestures
and
to
what Reels has done,
have control over whoever their audience is. It's very
to the
convincing.
enterprise value of TikTok.
And you'll see me do it from time to time,
but
but it's all to manipulate whoever it is that they're making the message to. It allows them to compose their information in their head better, so that they have a greater and better delivery.
The enterprise value of TikTok before the regulatory stuff has happened. So that kind of stuff, I think, allows, when all the big folks are fighting amongst each other, it allows the little folks to kind of
You see this?
hit the seam and
He's
actually
trying
build
to
something.
allude
All right,
that
before
the
we get
little
out of
folks
here,
have
lot
a
of you
chance
guys
in
probably
here.
All in podcast fans,
man.
you know that he has, the
Let them
tendency for a
join
hot
the
take.
fight.
Give me something, man. I'm going on Fast Money in an hour here. What do you got? What's
no
a
fight.
hot take to leave this audience with?
Wow, what's a hot take? Well, my most interesting thing right now is I have looked at, and Mike Wilson inspired me to do this. I basically went back and I looked at Google's P&L. And just for, shits and giggles, I took all the TAC, the traffic acquisition costs that they pay, and I put it back into COGS and I capitalized it. And I'm like, what's the true PE if you did that? And then I did the same thing for Facebook. Because, you hear this constant thing, which is like, oh, this thing trades at 20 times, it's so cheap. Oh, Facebook trades at, 8 times, it's so cheap. And it turns out Facebook trades at 19 times and Google will trade at 31 times. And then all of a sudden it's not so cheap. So there's a hot take.
There you go.
Which is when you look at software businesses and you actually capitalize some of these costs and look at true EBITDA. True EBITDA. They're not nearly as interesting on a implied yield basis as others.
You sound like a good friend of mine, Jim Chanos. Just this sort of economic, I was going to say Cold War with China, but it seems pretty hot. How does that affect some of the ways you think about these transformative technologies? Because again, our government is banning advanced, technology sales to China. It just seems like we're going to be in this bipolar tech world.
It's great for America.
Does it? Okay, I want to hear.
Unbelievable. Yeah. It's an unbelievable boon for America. And it's unbelievable boon for America's technology sector. The thing is, when you look inside of China, they are extremely good at process engineering. They're also extremely good at additive manufacturing. They're extremely great in things like specialty chemicals. But all of those things, when you think about the precursors, come from American, European, Australian companies that now have a huge incentive to diversify that supply chain away from China. That benefits American companies in a massive way. And so China's response is muted. So for example, we said we are going to slow down the flow of extremely advanced semiconductor manufacturing equipment into China. China's response said we are not going to allow you guys to get the input components to certain silicon wafers that are used in PV cells. I mean, if you had to rank these things, no offense, but we can make solar cells. The equipment that you need to get to 2 nanometer scale in chip design comes from the Dutch, the Germans, and the Americans. And so it's a really interesting moment where this, the game theory optimal view is that China's cost advantages actually get moved over.
You mean tell me
so
this
the
is about to
margin
be
decay
over?
in China gets replaced by margin expansion in these
Man, what the
businesses
heck was
here,
the name of this?
but now allow them to
People are
operate
using
in parity. So it's
ChatGPT.
see,
Look at this. This doesn't even make any
really
sense.
Unique moment.
People are using ChatGPT to become millionaires. This title don't even really add up to the video that we watched. This is just taking some little snapshot out of a seminar, and this dude's getting tons of views. Oh my God. Anyways, y'all, I feel like that was a little bit of a waste of time trying to review what the heck was going on in that video. I mean, if we do a little snapshot or a caption of what's going on there, not to take anything away from the speaker that was talking on the subject, but I mean, it's pretty much done. I mean, these guys are trying to still work in this little competitive range. We're now talking about China. We're now looking at the advances for America. I mean, honestly, we're getting more and more connected than we've ever been before. So we need to start to understand how these relationships can really build on one another. So if we've got China on one end, we need to start bridging some communication gaps so that we're working together and moving ahead as a race or an organism, as humans. I mean, I'm not in favor of us still having this dividing type energy. There needs to be more collusive, collective energy working together. And that way we can get over some of these major problems that are plaguing everyone in the human race, such as hunger, displacement, just not being able to have opportunity to really thrive in life. And it seems like that energy is being quickly more and more suffocated or, snuffed out. But anyways, hope you liked the video. Please like and subscribe. Hopefully you made it to the end of this so I can get some watch time in. And I'll keep making more videos because I'm always looking at stuff. And it ain't going to be just on AI. I like watching different things. Heck, I like MMA. I like street fighting stuff. So just tune in if you like what you're seeing. And if you want to see more, just let me know. Hit the bell thing, whatever they're talking about here. Thank you for your time. See you on the next video.